Wow, Disney, you are in trouble now. So today I'm going to react to another Nerdrotic video, which is called Disney Lied and Star Wars Died. I just remember that quote from George Lucas. It rhyme. That sort of thing. Sorry, my not my best imitation of George Lucas, but if you know the quote, you know it. I mean, the news has been flooding in like holy shit. I mean, wow, Disney is burning. I mean, I can't imagine what they are doing in their boarding meetings, that sort of thing. I don't know. Last time I checked the Disney stocks, they were like 84 or something. Someone said to me that Disney stocks has plummeted since they were busted for lying about their numbers to the investors and that sort of thing. And now the investors are suing Disney and that sort of thing. Like, there is some crazy things going on right now for Disney. Wait, what is the current Disney stocks at? Last time I checked, it must have been some Doge. Oh yeah, you can definitely see. Oh wow, that's a plummet. I must have checked somewhere around maybe in I think it must have been a little bit more, like 29, 28 maybe. The stocks were up at 84 or something, yeah, around here. Wow, yeah, that was a okay. You see, Disney, what's happening when you're lying and when you're creating some shit content and bending the knees to wokeism, if you want to call it. I mean, there's no wonder why Disney has delayed Snow White. I mean, they know that it's going to be a shit show. It's a powder cake to wait. Oh my god. Disney, what have you done? What have you done? And I'm also gonna tell you, there's a lot of bot channels out there that's trying to, AI created to defend the Ahsoka and that sort of thing. I've seen a lot of them. And how do I know they are bots? And you may think, well, it's pretty easy if you look at the names, for example. Like, someone may, like Danny 55050 J or Felicia 0183. Like, are you kidding me? Those are typical bot names. Let's go on with it. And before we start, I'm just gonna say I did see Ahsoka. I gonna point out I did not pay to see that. I did not. I did see all of the free episodes right now, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't understand. I don't understand why are people saying, "Oh, I like this one." What? Are you kidding me? This is a shit show. Not as bad as Kenobi, but this is ridiculous. And also you have channels like, I don't want to attack, for example, Angry Joe, because I do love Angry Joe show. I love his weekly news and that sort of thing, and his reviews. They are amazing. But when you look at his reviews on Ahsoka and previous Star Wars, like the sequels, he's a... Unfortunately, he has that fanboy in him that comes out during the Star Wars debate and that sort of thing, and it's a personality that doesn't like criticism. So that kind of fanboys are just, for Star Wars, they are everywhere. I understand people. I understand why they wanna be like, oh, but it's Star Wars, finally it's safe, it's good. I understand why you are like that, because we haven't had any Star Wars for fuck ton since, like, what? Since Disney bought Star Wars in 2012, I think it was. We have been dried. There's no Star Wars. Disney Star Wars sucks. Let's go in with it. I'm done renting and that sort of thing. I'm probably going to rent throughout this video as usual.
Previously on Star Hers.
Initiate self-destruct protocol.
Norwegian. Yeah. Exactly. Just do it in just the moment you say it, instead of like, oh, counting down. Like, ah.
Nerderotic.com.
Greetings, you over 845,000 practitioners of common sense and the 40% who haven't
Congrats.
subscribed yet.
Congrats.
Let's talk about, unfortunately, Ahsoka again. Originally, I had no intention of talking about this episode because, quite frankly,
Yeah, I saw the third episode, and I gotta tell you, I didn't watch the entire thing because at the when Ahsoka climb out of the spaceship and starting to deflect the laser shots from a goddamn cannon from a starfighter that can easily just stay like what you call it like at place, it can stay in place and just shoot the ship instead of just go right in on them. Like at that moment, I just cut it off. I don't want to see anymore. This is just ridiculous. This is not Star Wars. This is... I don't understand these people who say they like it. I just don't.
nothing happens until Disney inexplicably and unintentionally told on themselves. And I know, I can hear you, there isn't much to talk about with this entire series outside of another Disney Star Wars character surviving a gut shot from a lightsaber, which are essentially wet noodles now. No, the bigger news is we did get some ratings according to...
Yeah, like the lightsabers used to be such a weapon that, you know, like, yeah, I want one, but in a way, you know that if I'm granted a lightsaber, I'm going to do some things that I'm going to regret pretty quickly. Right now, it's just like, I don't have the feeling anymore.
Samba TV, 1.2 million US households watched the premiere, over 6
They got so busted, like Disney. And for those people who say no, who are like, whatever, it's 1 million is still a lot of people. You watch the stocks, I just put it up. The investors and all did not like that. They lied.
days, which is interesting.
And that's going to hurt Disney's reputation as well. It's going to be some while before they can repair that trust with the investors.
Because there seems to be a bit of a discrepancy with the other ratings that were reported over the very same week. According to Disney, the Ahsoka premiere received 14 million views. And who is Disney's source for this information? Well, it's Disney. Disney lies as Star Wars dies, but is this what they're lying about? Maybe. We'll get
Oh, what am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? Damn. Where was I?
Star Wars dies.
Sorry, I just...
This what they're lying about? Maybe. We'll get into it, but since we're here, let's go over Ahsoka. Don't worry, it won't take long. The good news is Ahsoka episode 3 is just over 29 minutes. The bad news, considering how much story is actually in it, it's still too...
Oh yeah, the ship shield, it went down and they still got hit by fighters. And like, how many times I couldn't count, and the ship is just, it's undamaged. Like, it's been hit, but it's just, what is going on with Star Wars? It's stupid. Like, they should have died. Do you know how much damage? I just not going to talk. It's the stupidity of Star Wars is so low. There's no wonder who people are like fanboys and super fans for Star Wars are just screaming and praising and you see and the gates of heaven open up the moment they see something relating to Star Wars, however bad it is.
Too long. But there is the added bonus of having fewer men.
Oh yeah, isn't that Mon Mothma from the episode? How long has this? When is this? Where is it? Where in the timeline does Ahsoka take place? Like seriously, this is a serious question because Mon Mothma, how long has she been a leader at this point? Like seriously, have the New Republic not heard about the terms of limits or something, like limits of terms or something? I don't know what it's called. Like the United States of America, when they broke with the crown, they didn't have a president for life to organize and make sure everything is set and done before they started having the democracy and votes and that sort of thing. No, they started pretty like quick, like, hey, who are we going to have like a leader? We have to elect someone.
Than in the previous 2 episodes. After a 1.5-minute recap, which is essentially the entire plot of the first 2 episodes, we open up with a Jedi training scene, and it looks like Sabine is shaking off that lightsaber injury.
God, Disney, what have you done?
And it didn't take him long to pull out another member berry. Hey, remember Star Wars? Not to be confused with The Force Awakens, which is essentially A New Hope, except this time with a girl. We have yet another callback scene to A New Hope, except this time with women.
Here, put this on. I can't see.
This was so weird. I have watched Rebels. Not a single time, not an inch of a single time has Sabine shown any kind of force sensibility. It's just, and also if she's training, if she has force sensibility and that sort of thing, she's way too old by this point to be trained.
How am I supposed to fight?
This is followed by a girl boss to girl boss scene between General Hera and Mon Mothma, who's getting some of that good space plastic surgery. She's joined by a very diverse group of New Republic senators, and apparently Hera needs to convince the immortal Mon Mothma and her very diverse group of senators for help, despite Hera just returning from a major intergalactic incident where Imperial sympathizers had infiltrated a major shipyard and were there.
Wait, so Hera can just call Mon Mothma the leader of the New Republic and a bunch of senators at will? A general doesn't have that sort of authority, if you want to call it. If it's not like super urgent, but this is not super urgent to the Republic. Disney Star
long enough to construct a hyperdrive bigger than anything the New Republic had made, preceding that a valuable prisoner who knows the location.
God, I don't remember his name again, but my God, look at him. He looks intimidating. Kind of like a little bit bigger, like Darth Tyrannus, the Count Dooku kind of thing. It looks cool. If he had his own show and it was just pure Sith, blood, gore, violence, murder, mayhem. Oh my God, that would be so good. Unfortunately, it's Disney Star Wars. You know, we gotta be inclusive. We gotta not show blood because the Chinese government doesn't allow that sort of thing.
Of Grand Admiral Thrawn escapes with the help of 2 Force users, Ray Stevenson and his poodle, who went on to kill the entire crew and scuttle the ship. Sound the alarms. The Corellia shipyard should be shut down immediately. Reinforcements should be called in. Everyone should be on high alert. There should be inquiries. Somebody get on the phone to Han, Luke, and Leia.
Yeah, where are they? Like, Disney Star Wars, you are so dumb. Every time, like, you put out something. This is one of the reasons why I said at the very first beginning when Disney bought Star Wars, do not, I repeat, do not decanonize the EU. Do not make up stories in between the galactic Civil War, or the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil Wars. Do not make up new characters. Do not make up new stories. And even aftermath of the Galactic Civil War and that sort of thing. Do not make up stories. Go 500 years into the future. Do something new. No, they're gonna keep around the Galactic Civil War era. I don't know why. Like, we have done that. We have seen that. It's move on. And then people say, oh, but they tried that with the sequel. No, they did not try. They just took an old movie and rehashed it.
What do the very diverse New Republic senators say?
Nah, it'll be fine.
Meanwhile, back to
Okay.
more women in space. We have women sitting around tables and talking about the Force, which apparently is something everyone can use now. This is followed by sitting around and talking in cockpits, and this is where Hera lets Ahsoka know that they're on their own. And we're also halfway through the episode. It turns out all the women who are looking for the balls end up converging on a ring. I guess I can say something good. To be fair, we didn't go back and forth between the capital of Lothal and Sabine's mid-desert luxury apartment 4 times, and the actresses discovered facial expressions. But that's it. Now to one of the dumbest.
I'm not gonna say they are the worst. I've seen some shit acting, and even in previous Star Wars content, there's been a lot worse. Absolutely, this is not even on the edge. In my opinion, they are really good actors in here and there, but yeah, it's a little bit lacking and stiff here and there.
Space battles in all of Disney Star Wars, and that's saying something. But first, Disney Plus analytics dictate there needs to be another member buried. Hey, remember Star Wars? Yet another callback to A New Hope and the Millennium Falcon gunner scene.
I got him!
It was so it would have been such an experience to go to watch the premiere of episode 4 back in the days. Like, I think it was like in the early 70s, right? No, mid 70s, something around there, 77 maybe. It would have been such an experience as someone who's never seen something like that, except for maybe Star Trek, but something like this. Not this one, the original. Like, I did not experience that. The closest I have experienced something really good with Star Wars when I was a young kid, it was the prequels. Love them or hate them, yes, they have flaws, but when I grew up, they were really good, and I can still watch episode 1, 2, 3. Now I can see them absolutely with much more appreciation compared to the sequels.
Except this time with women. And we get a girl-on-girl space dogfight, but I guess in this case it'd be a cat fight. Ray Stevenson's Pomeranian is unable to stop our heroes, but not to worry. Girl boss Morgan Elsbeth is on the case.
Stay clear. I shall deal with them. Prepare turbo lasers.
Unfortunately, girl boss Morgan Elsbeth's turbo lasers are unable to get the job done, yet they...
It's fascinating. Here's the thing. Look at, for example, those, what are they called now? C-rams the US are using on their ships and air bases to counterattack any kind of rockets or mortar attacks on their base or ships. How freaking accurate they are. Sure, they can miss and that sort of thing, but they are very accurate. And those new anti-air defense cannons from Germany, I think Rheinmetall did them. The amount of computing, they are so good at detect just a fucking fly. Like, and then you have cannons in Star Wars where which just cannot aim or what you call it now, lock on to a big ass spaceship that's not that far away and just miss.
They did disable Ahsoka's ship. And what's Ahsoka's big plan to get out of this jam? Put on a spacesuit, go out on the wing of the ship with their lightsabers. The only thing distracting is how fast she got that spacesuit on. And I want you to keep in mind that the clear objective has always been to stop Ahsoka, and the best way to do that would be to destroy her ship and kill everyone on it. So when Ray Stevenson's little Maltese dog says this,
like, just sit there, you don't have to go in much closer. Like, what are you?
We have them.
does Ray Stevenson's Bichon Frise order all 3 ships to take the clear shot they have and blow that?
Yeah, like tell them to go on to position themselves on your flanks and together shoot them together. Like, instead they go in on this kind of like I don't know what they're called. They're following the tails or something, one after another, like dive bombers. Like, what are you doing?
That space U-Haul into oblivion? Or does the little pug engage Ahsoka and her lightsabers so she can easily chop one ship in half doing some space gymnastics and easily get away? If you chose the latter, you're watching Disney Star Wars. Well, considering the ratings, you're probably...
This is hard to watch. It's... At this point, Disney has not stopped punching the dead horse. It's like they are... I don't know. It's not like they are punching it anymore. It's more like... It's so hard to explain what this is. It's so alien. Like you can't explain it. It's like you're witnessing you're witnessing like an angel in front of you.
not. You know, I have an editor. Quarter Black Garrett can fix that scene right now. Anyway, our heroes are able to escape Ray Stevenson's Papillon with the help of some hyperspace whales. And the big revelation of this episode, the hyperspace ring was indeed a hyperspace ring. Something the audience knew.
Oh my god, like... It's not like they have used that sort of technology during the Clone Wars. One of the most biggest events in the lore of Star Wars. You know, the fighters that the goddamn Jedi use, or even command, like special units and that sort of thing.
Since the previous episode, but it took our female force this long to catch up. And that
Ahsoka should know what it is. Actually, yeah, she was present during the Clone Wars. She even used starfighters as well. She should know these sort of things.
wraps up another vapid, pointless, bland women in space. And it's on brand for D+, quite frankly. It usually ranges from incredibly forgettable to incredibly cringe. Can't imagine why Disney Plus is a massive failure and won't turn a profit for the foreseeable future. But don't worry, the news gets worse for Disney. To be fair to Disney, although they don't deserve it, when they greenlit Ahsoka, I highly doubt they knew at the time that they needed this to be a massive hit. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Disney's had a catastrophic year. Disney needs a W in the worst way. Unfortunately, Ahsoka is the opposite of that. And Ahsoka just provides more evidence, not that we needed it, that Disney Star Wars is a dead brand owned by a dead Disney subsidiary.
Hurtful to hear that Star Wars is dead. Like, I can agree to that. It is dead.
Lucasfilm, which is owned by a damaged parent corporation, Disney. Let's briefly go back to Samba TV's ratings, which are far from perfect, but unfortunately the best we have. Samba TV tracks what appears on the user's TV by reading pixels and utilizing this data for personalized recommendations on the TV or mobile apps connected to the television. This capability extends to streaming programs and even video games. Again, according to Samba TV, Ahsoka was watched by 1.2 million US households over 6 days. That's an average of 200,000 views a day. Now let's compare it to other Disney Star Wars shows like Obi-Wan, which was watched by 2.14 million US households in 4 days, averaging 535,000 views a day. Then there's The Book of Boba Fett, which was watched by 1.7 million US households over 5 days, averaging 340,000 a day. Ahsoka, the show Disney needed to be a big hit, is tracking with Andor, the show that was critically acclaimed. And some people liked it, but most people didn't watch.
I'm gonna say I liked some part of it, but eventually I just got bored and just, where are the Jedis? Where are the Sith? You know, Old Republic things. I want some Old Republic things. I want armies of Jedi and Sith clashing together and just galactic warfare, you know, in the name Star Wars.
Watch it. Ahsoka's numbers are down 29% from The Mandalorian Season 3 and 50% from Obi-Wan. And to rub it in a little more, because you always want to kick a giant corporation when it's down, let's compare it to Secret Invasion. The Disney Marvel show with the second lowest ratings on the platform got 994,000 views over 5 days.
I don't watch Marvel content or whatever, these sort of things. It's just not my thing.
Averaging 198,000 views a day. That is just 2,000 less a day than Ahsoka. In response, Disney decided to take a page out of Amazon's playbook. You remember when they announced that 25 million people watched the Rings of Power season premiere? Well, Disney has revealed some numbers. For the first time ever, claiming the Ahsoka premiere over 1 week received...
If they're saying that, are they saying like 14 million views from the first episode just in America? Because that I don't believe. Worldwide, possibly. But is this just for America? Or the United States? That's the thing I'm wondering.
14 million views, whatever that means. Of course, this information...
But obviously, it's false.
...comes from Disney. Source, trust me, bro.
When a streamer like Netflix says we're not going to release our numbers, it's because they're screwing someone over somewhere.
That's true, Sean Gunn, and that might be happening to actors and writers, but I think it's far more likely to be happening to investors and shareholders.
Yeah.
And every single streamer, in my opinion, is doing that. Doesn't make it right. Listen, I don't know what the truth is. I just know that Disney isn't telling it. What makes me say that? Well, coincidentally, on the same day that Disney announced Ahsoka had 14 million views from Deadline, Disney, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek hit with another investor suit over fraudulent streaming costs. Poor Disney, they just can't catch a break.
I read that.
Disney has been hit again with another lawsuit from investors over the alleged sleight of hand accounting the company has used to hide streaming losses. And once again, some big names, Bob's past and present, are being...
Now, if they remove Bob Iger from Disney, as position of CEO, do I think this ship can be turned around? Like it's not going to hit the reefs, even though it already has? No. At this point, I think the damage are already so great, so to say, that it's too late. It's kind of like the Titanic sister ship, the what was it called? HMS HS Britannic. It hit a mine and it could have been saved, but they tried to save it, but it was just too late. They couldn't do anything about it. It was doomed to sink.
Being spotlighted. Now, I'm no financial analyst or a lawyer, but I think the technical term here is they're f***ed. Why? Because this isn't the first lawsuit, and it might not be the last. There have already been at least 2 previous lawsuits in the same vein, one of them coming in the last couple of months. Remember when they fired CEO Bob Chapek in the middle of the night on a Sunday and brought back Papa Iger?
Big Papa Iger.
How's that working out for you? Oh, not so well. Disney struggles as stock falls to 9-year low and park attendance slows. Wall Street asks, why not make a clean break? Well, it's too late for that because Disney's already broken. Since the weatherman Bobby Iger has come back, things have gone straight down and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I call that justice. From Disney's most recent earnings report, page 7, lower operating income at our domestic parks and resorts was attributable to a decrease at Walt Disney World Resort. I wonder what caused that. But wait, there's more. Also on page 7, the decrease at our merchandising licensing business was due to lower revenue from merchandise based on Star Wars, Toy Story, and the Avengers. And now, thanks to his comments during the strike, Bobby Iger, the former toast of Tinseltown, is now its biggest villain. And no, Disney, don't blame the strike and that lack of promotion.
No, you cannot blame the strikes, and you cannot... When was it? I don't remember which movie it was, but... No, I don't remember, but they blamed that a hurricane that came on hit California or something. That's why they didn't have so much success in the theaters. That's why they kind of like didn't earn enough money that they were expecting. I don't remember the movie. I don't remember when it took place, but maybe this year. I don't remember. I only remember they said something. Oh, because of that hurricane that hit California, the numbers were so low compared how we actually wanted it to be. But what about the rest of the US? Like, they didn't watch the movie. I don't remember which movie it was. I don't remember. I only remember that people didn't want to watch it because it had political message in it. Again.
Ocean for all your failures. I just want to remind everyone that Barbenheimer did happen. 2 massive hits that came out the same weekend that didn't have any promotion during their runs. But not to worry, following Ahsoka, we get Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland's The Acolyte.
So my
Oh
character.
no. Oh, I've seen this one. Oh, prepare yourself. This is the... You know that this woman is not a proper Star Wars fan.
You know, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader. Yes.
Just because you are a leader and a powerful leader doesn't make you good. It doesn't make you a good person or a good character. Like, look at Vladimir Zelensky. What a goddamn shad leader he is. Oh, that's a leader you're willing to die for.
Yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited to kind of be in that, because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
I mean, the best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what side you're standing on.
What? What the
Hate to break the...
These people have never seen a Star Wars movie. If they have, they haven't really focused. Oh,
this to you, but after 10 years, it's pretty clear that Disney can't make Star Wars, but what they're really good at is killing it. Maybe you shouldn't have lied to your audience and put Han, Luke, and Leia in a scene together. Maybe you shouldn't have canceled LucasArts and the EU.
Yes.
Maybe you should have fired Kathleen Kennedy when you had the chance. Maybe you shouldn't have turned a boys brand into a girls brand that neither like anymore.
Here's the thing. Do I think Star Wars has always been like a boys, like, oh, patriarchal? No. Anyone who says, oh, it was so patriarchal, like, go away. You don't know anything about the world. You sit in your goddamn bubble all the time and complain about patriarchy. Like, women can become party leaders. Women can become military generals and admirals. Women can become sports athletes. Like, what kind of bubble are you living in if you think it's just patriarchal? It's all fault of patriarchal. Women are so oppressed. Like, you must live in one of the most iron-balled bubble I ever have seen. Go to Iran, go to North Korea, go to China, go to those places where women are actually suppressed, or that's oppressed, I should say.
Maybe you should have listened to the fandom instead of making them your enemy. It's not a question of whether the Star Wars fandom is split anymore. It's a question of how many are left.
They decided they didn't want to use those stories. They decided they were going to go do their own thing, and so I decided
The white
fine,
slaver.
But basically, I'm not going to try to. They weren't that keen to have me involved anyway. But at the same time, I said I'm not going to. If I get in there, I'm just going to cause trouble because they're not going to do what I want them to do. So, and I don't have the control to do that anymore. And all of
I mean, I'm just wondering how he's feeling right now. Is it like he doesn't care anymore? Like he just doesn't care anymore at this point. This took place a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly. How is he feeling right now? What Disney has done to Star Wars? I would be so pissed. If I was George Lucas, I would be on the social media platforms and that sort of thing and just absolutely hammer Disney for destroying my legacy. it's kind of like interesting when you think about what was his name, Michael Crichton, the author of Jurassic Park, how he died. I think it was 2009, something like that, somewhere around there. Unfortunately, and I wonder what he would have thought about the Jurassic World franchise, which was just terrible. Those two last ones. The first one was okay. It was okay, but the rest, ugh.
I would do is muck everything up. So I said, okay, I will go my way and I'll let them go their way. And it really does come down to a simple rule of life, which is when you break up with somebody, the first rule is no phone calls. The second rule, you don't go over to their house and drive by to see what they're doing. Yes. The third one is you don't show up at their coffee shop or the things where you're going to run it. You just say, no, gone, history, I'm moving forward. Because every time you do, and we all learn this from experience, every time you do something like that, you're opening the wound again. And it just makes it harder for you. You have to put it behind you, and it's a very, very, very hard thing to do. But you have to just cut it off and say, okay, end the ball game. I got to move on. And everything in your body says, don't, you can't. And these are my kids. So
all those Star Wars films.
All the Star Wars films.
They were your kids.
Yeah, well, they are, right. I loved them. I created them. I'm very intimately involved in them, and obviously to
and
sell
you
them
sold
off,
them.
I sold them to the white slavers.
Nerderotic.com.
Sen. Yeah. Those are some powerful words from George Lucas. Back then it was considered to be a scandal. But now it hits differently. Absolutely. I'm so glad in a way that I just cut my Star Wars fanboy. I'm so glad. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Go and sub to Nerderotic. Absolutely brilliant guy if you want this sort of content. Hope it feels, Disney. I hope it feels that burning feeling you're having right now. I hope it feels.